My name is Shmuel Sackett, and I'm the co-founder and international director of Manhigut Yehudit. I made Aliyah with my wife, who's here in the room, and 4 children at the time. My youngest at the time, who was sitting over there, Dvar, say hello.
Hi.
And we added 2 Israeli-made products to our American imports. And Baruch Hashem, living here in Israel since 1990. And I was working for the Israel Postal Authority. I was a marketing manager. I was working in the stamps, the licking stamps division. It's a rough job, but someone's got to do it. And everything was fine and good until the famous day, September 13th, 1993, when Arafat Yamach Shemo and Clinton and Rabin signed the Oslo Accords. And that's when I became very, very good friends with a guy that was sitting next to me in shul. You know, most big business deals are made in shul, as you know, at least on the men's side. I know the women's much more kaddish than the men. They're davening. The men, you know, doing some deals. I happened to be sitting next to a guy named Moshe Feiglin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put us together. We became close friends, of course, only between Aliyot and at the Kiddush. But and then in that day, 1993, we realized that something needed to be done. And we started a group called Zohar Tzenu. And we at the time did what's called the Mivtza Machpil, a doubling campaign. I won't go into that whole thing. It continued till 1995, when finally, after 2 years of very large but very weak demonstrations, and it didn't accomplish anything, we decided to really increase the level of activism. We introduced the concept of nonviolent civil disobedience into this country. I mean, last week in the United States, everybody took off work for the father of the nonviolent civil disobedience movement in America, Martin Luther King, but still nobody here takes off on Chav Tet Cheshvan, my birthday, but maybe that'll be a law we could pass, maybe in the Knesset, Mano. In any case, we blocked the roads, and we really, we put the struggle on the front page of the newspaper. We did a lot of other demonstrations. Make a long story short, the government didn't like it. They charged Moshe and I with sedition and 11 counts of incitement, 1.5-year trial, and we were found innocent of incitement, but found guilty of sedition. And Baruch Hashem, today, both Moshe and I are convicted felons. They ask Moshe all the time, what's your qualification for running for prime minister? He says, I'm a convicted felon. So people told him he's supposed to first become prime minister, and then, forgot that one. Okay, any case, so I was sentenced to 12 months in prison, served most of the time via community service. Now, Baruch Hashem, I'm fully rehabilitated, and life of crime is behind me. And when Moshe and I left the prison service, Netanyahu, part 1, was the prime minister of the country. And we realized, as they say in Yiddish, the Mamaloshin, Azel Bezach, Oto Davar, same thing. The process that he was against all those years, he was continuing. Whereas Rabin and Peres had just shook the hands of Arafat, he hugged Arafat, and of course we know the Y Accords and all the terrible things were continuing. So we said, you know, Zohar Tzenu was fine and good, but in the end, all it was a kvetch. All it was something against. It wasn't for. And we decided to build an alternative leadership for the Jewish state, hence the group Manhigut Yehudit, Jewish Leadership. And we were apolitical for a while until we finally came to the conclusion that if you're going to talk about leadership, you might as well try to lead the country yourself, based on Jewish values. And the concept here, it wasn't just the peace process, it wasn't just settlements, it wasn't kibbutz rugot. It was leading Israel based on Jewish values, Jewish pride, a strong, proud Jewish state of Israel. And when we entered politics in November 2000, we could have started about the 37th right-wing party, but we obviously didn't want to do that. There's been about 32 since Yamit. Most of them have come and gone very, very quickly and have really drained a lot of the strength that the right wing has by splitting the vote. We took a look at the map, and we took a look at one party that we felt we could call home, and that's called Likud. Likud is a national party made up of primarily Masoreti Jews, overwhelming majority, who want Israel as a Jewish state, who are opposed to religious coercion, as Moshe Feiglin and I are, who want Jewish education for the kids, who want Jewish family values, who want a Supreme Court that is not like the Supreme Court of today, who wants a media that reflects Jewish values, who wants a strong army. This is Likud. But it had been hijacked by people that took Likud a different way. And I always say there's something you have, when you take a look at Likud, you have to divide the two. You have to divide between the leadership of Likud and the membership of Likud. The membership of Likud today, as I speak, going to the polls in a week and a half, will be potentially 130,000 voters. Those people have the zchut, have the merit, the ability to vote. They're eligible voters, 130,000. And these people primarily, as what I mentioned, want a strong and proud Jewish state. And this is what we appeal to, this is what we talk about, this is what we try to lead them. And we've been running in Likud since November 2000. As a matter of fact, Moshe and I are members of Likud longer than most Likud Knesset members today, and many ministers in the government as well. I just wanted to wrap up by 1 minute by just one thing that Daniel said, and that is that I humbly disagree and respectfully disagree. In a week and a half, while the Central Committee is important, as well as the Moetzet Snifim, the local Snifim elections, I believe the main election, the main event, as we would have it, is Prime Minister Netanyahu versus Moshe Feiglin for the head of Likud. This is your chance to say enough is enough. We don't want a Likud whose leader wants a Palestinian state. We don't want a Likud whose leader wants a leftist Supreme Court. We don't want a Likud who appoints Ehud Barak as a defense minister. We want Likud as a strong, proud Jewish state. Vote for Moshe Feiglin. I will be doing the same, and I ask you to do the same in a week and a half.